Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome to Mike's Real Estate Podcast. I'm going to talk about the Stockdale Paradox. So this comes from a book, Good to Great. Some of you may have read it, by Jim Collins. He talked to James Stockdale, who was a prisoner of war in Vietnam for over 7 years. And what I wrote down here is when Jim asked James about his time in the POW camp and what was his coping strategies during this time. And he said, I never lost faith in the end of the story. I never doubted not only that I would get out, but also that I would prevail in the end and turn the experience into a defining event of my life, which, in retrospect, I would not trade. He was also asked who didn't make it out. And he said, well, that's easy. The optimist. Oh, they were the ones who said, we're going to be out by Christmas. And then Christmas would come and go. And then they would say, well, we're going to be out by Easter. And then Easter would come and go, and then Thanksgiving and Christmas. And what he said was that they died of a broken heart. Now, he labels an optimist as someone who is, I would call them blindly optimistic. In my estimation, he's actually an optimist. To be there in a POW camp where he was being horribly tortured, where many were tortured and killed, I'm assuming, that for him to believe that he would make it through, that to me is an optimist. So this is just a side note. This is where labeling people is kind of a detriment. It's easy to say, you stop thinking once you label something, good, bad, optimist, pessimist, whatever it is. And if I had to label it, I'd call it more of a realist. But a blind optimist just sits there and thinks everything's going to be okay magically. And I think an optimist, if you want to play with those labels, an optimist says, I can see the good and I can see the bad. And I can see what I need to do. Or I believe, like he said, he had no doubt he was going to prevail. And I think that this is so important right now. There's a lot of people that are making predictions. When will this end? You've got schools that were only closed for 2 weeks. You've got some that have bumped it out to 6 weeks. You've got schools that have closed for the rest of the year. You've got all these ideas. Well, once we get here, it'll be fine then. And I think it's setting people up for heartbreak, like he mentions in here. So this is why I really wanted to bring this out is you don't know how long this is going to last. You don't know how long this new normal is going to be. The numbers just keep growing. Here it is, March 28th. See, losing track of the days. But we don't know how long this is going to take. And so don't get hung up on when this is going to end because you don't control that. You control what you control, which is your attitude, which is the activities that you are doing. Go into this with you are going to prevail, and you will be so much better off than the people who keep waiting for Easter, which is what some people are putting out right now. But don't be the pessimist who says this is all going to be done, because the pessimist, they broke their own heart early on, I think, in this scenario. Be the realist or be the positive optimist that's going to do the work. I'm going to leave you with what he said at the end. It's a very important lesson. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they may be. Face the facts, look at the situation you're in, whatever your state is allowing you to do for real estate, whatever you think is safe, whatever you think will look safe. There's a lot of people who are just sticking to the rules of their government, but there's going to be a lot of people judging them later that they look too risky. And that's why I'm kind of putting that out there. But keep the faith, do the work. Don't just think, well, I'll sit back and Easter, I'll just go back to work and be normal. Look at the facts, do the work, be the person, make a plan, and get to the other side, and you will prevail. Keep the faith. All right, go ahead and have a great day.